Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on when you are watching this. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I really appreciate your support, especially now as I have embarked on this journey with the Innocence Project. Today, welcome Sonia. She is here from the UK to share her story about her husband who has been, as they say, as he says as well, falsely accused and falsely imprisoned. I cannot tell you how many countless stories people have reached out. And if you are one of them and you're watching, please know that I have not forgotten you. It has just been an overwhelming abundance of people who want to tell their story, who want their voices heard, whether it is someone that was falsely incarcerated and now is free, or whether it is a loved one or their families coming on to share their stories. Eventually, I want to get to the prisons to be able to go in and actually meet these men and women in person, face to face, and let them share their stories. That's a little bit down the road, but until then, we have their loved ones here to join us. So I thank you again for coming to No Judgment Here with Tish Ross, the podcast. I'm going to bring my guest in, and she is going to share her husband's story. Hello, Sonia. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course. What time is it there in the UK?
It is just left 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. So
Gotcha.
we're just starting to go back.
Gotcha. And how's the weather there?
It's not brilliant. It's overcast and wet, which is normal for the UK.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
It's just very wet.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and, arranging your time to come in and share your husband's story. I want to start from the very beginning and appreciate you reaching out like so many others have. Again, my platform is a place for people to share their stories. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here to give medical advice or legal advice. So I've also shared with Sonia, if you guys are listening, if there's a question that I ask or that you have and she's not able to answer it, we certainly do not want to jeopardize anyone's case. And so for that reason, I have shared with Sonia to just let us know that's not something that she can answer right now. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Sonia, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm a mum of 3. I have a son and twin girls. We have 10 grandchildren. The youngest one was born only a month ago. Bless her. I have been in contact with Steve nearly 25 years now. We started as pen pals, and that's all we were for decades, pen pals. He shared his journey inside with me. I shared what it was like being a mum, bringing up kids, but nothing clicked at that point. He never told me any of the truth, but that I think was because he was very ashamed. He had endured many years of mental and sexual abuse from his mother. He thought that was normal, which we all know is not. He did everything he could to protect his mother, but looking back now, he actually says that she got quite excited by the fact that he would protect her. So for her, that was like a bit of a turn on for her. So she would, and his words, jump on him. His mother committed a crime against his ex-girlfriend, who was the mother of his twin babies. They only lived 7 and 8 hours. They were born prematurely and died. I'm sure his mother had psychiatric issues and was constantly trying to take her own life. He was responsible at 5-year-old for his 2-year-old little brother. trying to make sure that they had something to eat, and going to the neighbour if there was his mother lay in a pool of blood. She drank constantly, and then at 8-year-old, she initiated him. That was when she taught him about sex, what he has to do, and he could only do it with mum. He thought this was normal. Obviously, it's nothing like normal. He was and will always be a protector. He is a very old school gentleman. That's if I had to describe him to you. He's the kind of man that would, if he saw somebody in trouble, he'd go and help them, no matter what the consequences to himself. He had arranged to meet his ex-partner to pick up some of his stuff, as they were calling the relationship a day. They had drifted apart after the death of their twins, who were born prematurely, and his mother came with. His mother got out of the car. He was still sat in the car, walked over to Jen's car and fired shots, just kept firing. He was screaming at her, "Why? What have you done?" Just, right, tell them I've done it. Panic, panic, tell them I've done it. She got back in the car, lit a cigarette and didn't speak to him. Just, I think, shock. And that's how the story started, that he said he had done it in order to protect his mother. She was then to go home, get changed, because she was the one that was covered in blood, not him. He thought that the CCTV evidence would, where he comes unstuck, it was an industrial park, so it was covered, but nobody ever collected the CCTV. They just basically went along with the fact that he said he did it, so therefore he must have done it. All the FDLE reports prove that he had no blood on him, no gunshot residue on him. He just thought, in his misplaced loyalty to his mother, that he was doing the right thing. He's now served 26 years of a life sentence without parole. He started saying, over 20 years ago, I need to come clean. I didn't do it. Nobody listens. We've written to everybody we can think of, but because there's no DNA evidence, even though the FDLE reports are in some form prove forensically it wasn't him, they say they can't help us. Everything that he put into court, including a witness coming forward saying that it was a woman who shot the lady, not a man. The courts have just denied everything. They're just not interested. And what we're trying to do is get his story out there with, this can't continue to happen. You know, if it had been investigated properly at the first time, he wouldn't even be in there, because they would have known with the evidence that was around, it wasn't him. It was all set up to protect his mother. When he told his mother that he was going to come clean, she vowed that she would never go and see him again, and never visited him again in 20 years. Difficult. He doesn't know how to, he's still his mum, and even at this stage there is some misplaced loyalty. I struggle with that, being a mother of a son, but that's all he knew. His grandma, who he affectionately called Gram, took him in when she found out all this was going on and tried to protect him, but his mum was like a magnet and just kept pulling him back bit by bit. She would like force control, and I'm in trouble and I need you and I can't do this without you, and he felt he was the person that needed to fix that. We will just continue getting his story out there till somebody says, okay, let's look at the evidence properly and determine what happened and what went on. But we're not there yet.
Oh boy, that is amongst all of these stories that I've heard from families and loved ones. It is so heartbreaking to hear that, even as a parent myself, I mean, there's so many different aspects when you listen to your story, Sonia, that I think, number one, that is horrific. And the abuse, the mental, my goodness, the mental, and yes, the sexual and physical, horrific. But the mental control, also as children, as a child of a raging alcoholic or a raging abusive alcoholic myself, I longed for a relationship with my dad, even though, and I'm sure there are a lot of children that even though a parent is an abuser, you long for that relationship with them almost no matter what.
Yes.
And it sounds like she really manipulated, controlled. If that's all that he knew, it's really hard to unlearn certain behaviors until you do find out it's wrong. And even when it's like an addict, even when you do find out it's wrong, it takes a lot to unlearn what is right, what is wrong. And so I was thinking of that just as as a child, a poor child, that it breaks my heart. And now the fact that his mom, obviously it sounds like she had I'm just assuming, I don't know this, but just hearing it from this perspective, that she had some sort of jealousy towards this girlfriend, maybe? Is that why?
I think so, yes. He said he did ask her why, and all she did was sit at the side of him and light a cigarette. She'd sort of zoned out at that point, and he was the one that was panicking and all that kind of a thing. At the trial, her family did say to him in the court, what are you doing? Why? To which his reply on record is, what did you expect me to do?
Mm.
That's not the reply of somebody he's even at that point, he's like, I'm trying to tell you, nobody's listening, but I'm trying to tell you. He loved Jen in his own way, and he wouldn't have hurt her. She was the mother of his daughter and his son, and he talks about her and those two kids with so much pride and love in his love. But his mum obviously had a very serious issue with it, to the point that when we got married, his mother was not informed that we had got married.
Mm. And so what does he say to those that, because the CCTV is no longer available, and now it's almost like, his words against hers, but there's also a witness.
Yes.
But what does he say to those people that say, well, you guys were on the verge, you guys were ending your marriage, your relationship. Why would we think that your mom would do that?
Yes. A lot of people have now come forward and said all sorts of things about his mum that we didn't know. There is a conversation that took place between Stephen's brother and his mum, but I can't talk about that in case that is needed somewhere down the line. So, yes, all he wants is, at this stage, is the truth. He just let the truth come out, and he wants to come home. That's all. He's not looking to upheaval the system or anything like that. If anything, he's done everything in his power to aid the system. He set up the Life as Chances program. He has the re-entry program that he helps the guys with. He's facilitated thousands and thousands of hours of classes for the guys. He believes in it. He said it's helped him come to terms with what happened to him. He thinks it's a good thing for the guys to address issues as well, you know. But he's trying. He's just trying so hard to get people to see the man, to see him for who he is.
Most definitely. And I know that when we were chatting previously, I asked you, why do you believe his story? Why do you believe his story? I mean, let me ask you this, and this is with all due respect, because I respect you, Sonia, but let's say that someone is watching and they say, well, gosh, I mean, a pen pal in prison, this wonderful lady, and why do you believe him?
He is very sincere. I'm not naive, and I have reviewed the evidence. So yes, the evidence supports what he says. But what he tells me is with all the sincerity and conviction of an honest man.
Well, the evidence speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
And if only someone, that's why I do these podcasts, and why, you know, I feel like the Lord has led me to having people come on and share their story, so that maybe somebody somewhere will hear it and pick it up. I'm thankful to the Prospera TV network that I'm a part of, that streams this through Roku and soon Apple, that it streams over 17 other countries, that I feel like somebody somewhere has to hear this man's story, and maybe, just maybe, we'll say, you know what? Let me look at the evidence. Let me look at let me hear Stephen's story. And I want to hear the truth. Maybe, just maybe, you know, it's a possibility. And that's what I hope and pray for. So let me ask you this. What is next for you and Stephen? And then my next question is, what happens, Sonia, what happens? This is a tough question, but if he remains incarcerated, no possibility for parole, what happens?
Right. So at the moment, he has just finished his book, and that should be published within the next couple of weeks. Okay. And that is Above the Death Chamber. And he writes that book above the death chamber because that was one of his very first cells. He was in a cell that was above the death chamber at a death camp. So he's always stayed with that title because he promised his grandmother 20 years ago that he would write his story one day. And I have encouraged him to do this, to get it all down and get it sorted. So that should be out in the next couple of weeks. Again, the evidence is in there. So it's available to anyone who wants to see it. But what do I say? He will come out. We have to stay with that positive mindset that the good Lord is working towards something here. It's not about, it's about bringing awareness, I think, to what has happened. This, you know, it's a mistake. It's happened. He's made the mistake. He holds his hands up there. But now it's time to make it right.
Yes.
It has to, like I say, he's not looking to like upheaval the system or anything, but he's saying we need to look at this properly. When the guys are being processed or whatever, due course needs to be followed properly. Back then, they just took his word for it and went with it.
Oh my goodness. Let me ask you this. How can we help? How can we can people that are watching this, if you can please share on your platforms, because obviously you guys have subscribers that I don't. So if you can just continue to share this everywhere so that Stephen's story can be heard, Stephen and Sonia's story can be heard. Also, to once I get the link for his book, once it is published, I will come back and make an announcement that his book is available. And then I will put the link in the announcement as well as in this podcast. So keep looking for it. But what else can we do? What else can we do to help, Sonia? What can we do?
It's just about getting the story out there, getting somebody. Unfortunately, the way of the world is now, it's not, the truth doesn't matter. It's not what you know, it's who you know as to whether something gets looked at or something doesn't get looked at. I truly believe there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are locked up that shouldn't be.
You're right.
So it's chaos. It's absolute chaos. Somebody needs to take charge and say, right, we need to organise this now. You know, this can't continue. 26 years for a crime he didn't commit just to protect his mum. Surely the officers that were all this, surely they picked this up. Or were they just completely blind to, close the case. We've got him, close the case. And that was one less case for them to worry about.
Exactly. And like you said, there are thousands and thousands of people out there that is exactly what has happened. It's, you know what, we've got somebody, we're closing the case, that's it. And then here you have someone, a murderer or somebody out there that actually committed this crime walking around free, and sadly someone doing time for a crime that they did not commit. And their lives are just, I wish I knew why. I wish I knew why. Let me ask you this, Sonia. You're such a strong person. You're a beautiful woman whom Steve has as his supporter. Let me ask you this. How are you doing? How are you handling this? What gets you through each day? Because it's got to be incredibly difficult.
It is very tough. Not going to deny it. The relationship is difficult anyway because it's long distance. I only get to see him a couple of times a year, but we talk daily. We have video visits daily. And I think for me and him, it's communication is the key. We talk to each other about anything and everything. But what's important to us is that connection is always there. So yes, it is hard. And I would actually put my hands up to a lot of the prison wives out there. They're holding it together on the outside with families and children and jobs. And in comparison, my children are grown up and that kind of a thing. So I think they deserve the shout out more than I do.
Well, you all do. You all do for sure. And yes, I'm with you in raising my hands, tipping my hat, whatever it is, giving, applause to those men and women that are out there that are holding it together for their families or for their loved one that is incarcerated. And my goodness, I can only hope and pray that the truth does come out and that it comes out sooner rather than later. And my goodness, I'm working on, because of you and Stephen mentioning it, I am working on getting a phone number where I can actually have a conversation and chat with him, as well as share the podcast on. I believe he had shared that there is a place that I can share the podcast so that other people can hear.
Yes. All the incarcerated individuals have access to Pando and like the Apple podcast, but I think it has to go through the Department of Corrections to make sure that they clear it. But
Gotcha.
Yes, he's saying that this would make a fantastic podcast for the guys in there, because it shows the guys that we've not given up on them. We're still here. We're still fighting. We're still trying. And surely someday somebody is going to listen.
You're right.
Say, let's put this right.
Yes. And I'm right there with you. Sonia and Stephen, gosh, I lock arms with the both of you, and that is my
Thank
hope
you.
and my prayer. Absolutely, for anybody that comes on and shares their story, that the truth will come out, and like they say, the truth in the word says the truth will set you free, and that is what I hope and pray happens for Stephen and all that are wrongly convicted and serving time, for sure.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much. I'll stay connected with you later on so we can get the link to Steve's book. And
Okay.
again, the book is called Above the Death Chamber. And I am so looking forward to reading that and having everyone purchase his book. And again, I thank you for your bravery and your courage to come on and share your personal story, as well as being a voice for Stephen in hopes that he will one day get to come home.
Yes, thank you. I
Of
keep
course.
praying for it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a good evening, and we will talk soon, okay?
All right. Thank you very much, Tish. You
Yes.
take care. God bless.
Same to you. My pleasure. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you coming in and listening to these people's stories. Again, I'm not a lawyer, a doctor. I don't give legal advice, but I give the platform for those that have a story that they want to share. They are a voice for either themselves or advocates for loved ones. And that's what No Judgment Here with Tish Ross, the podcast, is all about. For you to come on and share your story and be heard without judgment. So thank you again so much for your support. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and to share it out if you can. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Good night.
This is your Prospera.